Hi, I'm Lars. Welcome back to the workshop. Today we're working on the front porch and back porch of our house. We need to put some cedar on where we have an outside corner and have an inside corner, and then we have a break between where the end of the porch is and the rest of the house. So right now I need to get some measurements, and we're going to take these one step at a time, but we need to get measurements first. Instead of trying to measure something that's taller than where you're at, or trying to get it on a 90 degree and using your little bending your tape measure like this and trying to gauge where what exactly is that measurement, just take your tape measure, put it up to the top of the whatever you're measuring to, come down and grab a common measurement like say 3 feet, and then use that number, that mark, to measure up from the bottom to there. So for my case, I've got 5 foot 1 inch. So if you take 5 foot 1 inch and add 3 feet to it, you get 8 foot 1 inch. So I know that board that I need to put into here now is 8 foot 1 inches long. And all we need to do is go and cut them. Okay, as you can see, the measurements worked out. It gives me a little bit of play to lift it up off the deck. So you want to drill out the screws, okay? So if you can see this drill bit, you can see the threads that go past the drill bit. So this is an 1/8 inch drill bit. This is just a regular screw. The shafts are about 8 inch in diameter, so this works really well. So since this is 8 foot tall, I'm going to put in screws at the bottom, 2 feet up, 4 feet, 6 feet, and then at the top. Now at the extreme two ends, I'm going to come down about 6 inches, right about in here, to put them in. I'm not going to put them up all the way up near the top because that tends to split wood. Even if you screw it over time, they'll split. So maybe 3 inches down, something to that effect, but just enough down that it's not enough to worry about it splitting. So let's get this thing hung. All right. Okay, so this piece of cedar is going to cover from this side of the J channel all the way out to this side of the J channel. So I really can't put a screw in here or down in the edge. I need to get it inside this piece of wood. And if you look at this, I want to get as much of that piece of wood as I can because there's going to be a lot of the cedar that's hanging out here. So I'm going to come in 2 inches on each side from the edge of the J channel, which will put me like right in here and right in here. Now I'm going to mark that. And that's it. Okay, so as we were putting this up, my wife decided she wanted to hang up this hose reel. It's a very nice hose reel. I like it a lot. The problem that we came across is it's too wide where the screw holes are for this piece of wood. Alright? Kind of, it came with some mollies with some screws, but we got that much distance to go to get it to the wall. So I found one of these, or some of these, in the garage and thought, if I could mount that in there, drill some holes in it and mount it, and then maybe tap this out with some 1/4-20s and just put some screws into it, we might be able to get this to work. So it'd probably end up being right about there. So let's go do some experimentation and see if we can get this to work. All right. So in order to get this mounted on this plate, what I decided to do is put 2 holes in this like this. Okay, so I had found some screws out here with a lock washer and a regular washer, but if I put these together, they will do 2 things for me. 1, they'll keep them from going through this hole, and 2, they'll give me the ability to tap this piece of metal and be able to just screw into it. So that's what we're going to try out, see if it works. Hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? So I'm going to use the law of centers here, and if it's not a law, it should be a law. So the width of this is about 9 inches, so I'm going to go about 4.5 inches in, and I'm going to put a mark here, which is right about here. So there's a mark. Set that off to the side. Then I'm going to take the center of this, which is about 12 3/8, so 6 3/16. So I'm going to mark that. Now I know the piece of wood outside that this has got to get mounted to is 5.5 inches long, or if you take 2 3/4 and divide, 5.5 divided by 2 is 2 3/4. So I can mark here and I can mark here, and those will be holes that I need to put into the wood. Right? These need to go all the way through, and then I'll have to make them a little bigger with like 5/16 or something like that. And then if I take the center that I marked on this and line it up with the center here, and I real carefully move this up, I can figure out that I need 2 more holes here that I can tap and put these in. So that is how I figured out where all these holes need to go. So one other thing I need to do here is I need to put a tap here. Well, someplace in between these two. It shouldn't be on the outside. So I'm just going to come in maybe, I don't know, 2 inches away from the center. That would be good. Right there, and 2 inches away from center, right in there. I think this is a piece of 3/4. It is, so 3/8 would be half of that. 3/8. And then I'm going to tap that, put a little knock in there with my punch, and that'll give some place for my drill bit to catch on to. Double check everything that I do. So yep, 5.5, that's 2 inches, that's 2 inches. These should all line up, and they do. So off to drilling. Okay, in order to drill, this is a drill press. The little dot that I put in there, you don't want the drill to be bending to get it in. So you want to try to look at it from all directions, this direction and this direction, and make sure that that's sitting in that hole, that when it goes in, it's not kind of pulling to the side like this. So mine looks pretty good. It should find the hole anyway. Put a little bit of oil in there, a little 3-in-1 oil, and then there's 2 pretty good holes. I just need to get the outside holes for the fixture that I can get tapped, and then we'll go over a little bit of how to do some tapping. Alright, in order to tap, you need to have that 1/4 inch hole. It's a number 7 is what I use to drill it out with. It's a machining drill bit, and then you need to be able to put this tap in. A little bit of all-in-one 3-in-1 oil is fine. The thing is, what you do is you get this started, you take a piece of wood and you kind of gauge it around to keep it perpendicular to the piece of metal that you're going with. It's a little bit slow at first, but you just want to make sure that you are perpendicular as far around as you can go. And a piece of wood will help you do that. And then just slowly turn this in like that, and then next thing you know, you'll be tapped. Okay, so after we got this drilled out and tapped, this seems like this is going to hang on there pretty well. And now I just need to get some screws into here, and I think that's going to hold, and get everything tightened up, and we'll see how the hose reel actually worked out. So it's came out looking pretty good. It's hanging on the wall pretty good. A little bit of innovation is all you need to be able to make things like this happen. We're going to move on to another video now, which is going to be the inside corners. Reason is I think these are going to get pretty long pretty quick. So I'm trying to keep these videos short. If you liked the video, please click like, please click subscribe, and head over to the next video on the inside corner. Thank you.